Greetings to my 1144 subscribers, and of course you, the future subscriber. Tonight we are looking at the Balblair 18-year-old, 46% ABV, cost around 132 euros here in Belgium, matured in ex-bourbon casks, and finished off in first full Spanish oak casks. Quite looking forward to nosing and tasting this one. I do like a good whiskey. I like a good whiskey with an age statement, something that has been mellowed over time. So hopefully this one is it. Not going to be a long video. It's all about the nosing and tasting. Color wise, of course, it is natural color. It's non-chill filtered, 46% ABV, nice light golden color, maybe a little bit of a 18 karat gold, a little bit light amber, or a little bit of a dark straw color. So on the nose, cheers. For me, it is absolutely nice, lovely, dark sweetness. It's a little bit of a funky note also, and I suspect that comes from the Spanish oak. There's a little bit of a funkiness. There's a little bit of a sherry type note coming out. There's a little bit of a woody, spicy note also appearing. Quite oaky on the nose. And definitely coming from that Spanish oak. I am a little bit surprised of the intensity. You would think after 18 years of maturing, mellowing, it's not going to be that overpowering, but quite an intense whiskey on the nose. If I have to guess, I would say 12 years old, definitely not 18 years old. There is that alcohol intensity still in it. Dried fruit, loads and loads of dried fruit, and a little bit of a dark honey note also appearing. And what I also pick up, reminds me of my younger days, my mom making toffee apples, red toffee apples. For the whole neighborhood, that's what I get on the nose, that sweetness of that caramel toffee apples. What I also did pick up, if you pour it and you give it a little bit of time in the glass, is quite a big change. It becomes less volatile, more rounded off, a little bit more gentle on the nose, and a little bit more sweetness on the nose. And that alcohol sting that you get from the initial pour is no longer there. Also pick up a little bit of a vanilla and a little bit of an orange zest appearing in the back. So really a nice whiskey, a nice sweet whiskey, and a little bit reminder of almost a sherry cask influence. And every time that I go back, it's a little bit sweeter on the nose, a little bit of a raisins coming out, even a hint of a chocolate note appearing. It reminds me a little bit of the raisins covered with a dark chocolate. And every time I go back, it's a little bit better on the nose for me. So definitely with that 18 years stuffed in a barrel, it does need a little bit of time to open up. And you will be rewarded with something really nice on the nose. Of course, we need to taste it as well. So on the taste, cheers. Small sips. It is 46% ABV. Definitely oaky. It's quite a lot of oak, and that reminds me a little bit of a oaky sawdust note. So you do get that oak. It's quite intense, sweet, again quite a lot of sherry notes, raisins, maybe a little bit of a fig note also appearing, and maybe a little bit of a date note appearing. A little bit, let me just make sure. It's a little bit young on the taste as well. The same that I got with the nose that suggested it could be a little bit youthful, a little bit younger. I get that same intensity on the taste as well. Also quite similar to maybe a 12 to 15-year-old, where you still get that high ABV, but also that youthful element in the taste. I get it on this one as well. Let me just want to make sure. But it is lovely. Still oaky. It's not a bitter oak. It just tastes woody to me. A little bit of a earthy, a little bit of a caramel coming out, maybe a little bit a hint of a toffee, and also still that toffee apple note is coming in with a nice sweet red apple used for the toffee apple. Really pleasant, not really complex on the taste for me. That dark chocolate and raisin mixture, I still get that on the taste as well, and it's quite pleasant, not overly sweet, and it's just a nice balance between that little bit of the oakiness, a little bit of that sweetness. Definitely not a sherry monster. Oh, but now when I go back on the nose, it's just now perfect. Lovely sweetness. Something that I really appreciate on this whiskey. A little bit expensive. Well, today or nowadays, whiskey is becoming really expensive. So a lot of people will tell you 132 euros for 18-year-old whiskey is not maybe much. For my pocket, it's quite a lot of money. So definitely, if I had the money, I will definitely buy a bottle. This is of course a sample, and this sample also costs me, I think, about 10 euro. So even for a small sample, quite expensive, but at least I can afford it, I can buy it, I can try it, and of course if I like it, I can then save up the euros and buy one later on. So just on conclusion, the nose for me was promising a little bit more than the taste delivered. I liked the lovely sweetness and all the notes that we've talked about already. And then I was a little bit surprised on that little bit oakiness, that little earthiness, and that intensity of the alcohol that maybe deserves a little bit of water. But for the people that know me, that watch my channel, not a big fan of adding water. I always tend to add 1 or 2 drops too many, and then I feel like I wasted my money by ruining the whiskey with water. So 46%, definitely not going to add water to this one. Keep on drinking small sips, and for me that's much more manageable, and of course it gives you so much more flavor when you don't add water. So for me, perfect at 46% ABV. Definitely something that I would recommend. Try it. Maybe you've tried the 18-year-old Balblair. Let me know in the comment what you think. Is it something that you would suggest to your friends to buy? Or is it a miss for you? So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I see you next time. Cheers.